Hello, welcome to this tutorial on Monday. I've been using Monday for quite some time now over the years to manage different projects, and I believe there is a reason why this is one of the top project management tools on the marketplace. In this tutorial, we're gonna go over how you can get started really quickly, and by the end of the tutorial you'll be able to create your own projects within monday.com. The first thing that we'll need to do is get a monday.com account. So go to the website. If you go to pricing, you see that there's no free plan that you can sign up to. However, there's a free trial. So I'm gonna suggest you to go and start with a free trial to see what kind of options you have there. I believe for most people, the basic plan, if you're not managing really complex projects, may be fine. However, I tend to use the Pro plan and the standard plan because here I get automations, and automations are a great way to automate a lot of your work. I think it's worth it, but let's get started and see if it's worth it for you. So I'll click on get started, then you enter an email and you go through the sign up process. And once you do that, you're going to be taken to the Monday homepage. I have some different projects within my workspace. You wouldn't see this, but what you need to know is that Monday is divided into workspaces, and within these workspaces, you have boards. And within the board, you actually manage your projects. The first thing that you need to do is click here, and let's create our first workspace. Our first workspace is going to be learnmonday.com, and I'm going to create the workspace. And here, starting with an L, this is now our workspace. And within this workspace, if you click on add, you can add a new blank board. You can add new blank dashboard, and you can use one of the templates. And you can also create a new folder. The best practice in Monday is that you first create your workspace. So let's say, for example, you're working in a company and you're going to be starting a new project, and you're going to be using Monday in order to manage your IT projects. The first thing that I'll do is I'll create a folder within the workspace, which is going to be IT projects. And within the actual folder, I'm going to start creating my projects. So the first one that I'll do is I'll create a new board in this folder, which is going to be our first project. And you have a few options here. You can start from a template, which we're going to explore. But in order to properly learn Monday.com, we want to start building it from scratch. So I'm going to click on build your own. And we're going to start building one from scratch here. So we're going to click on use. Our first project, this is what I'm going to name it. And you have a few options here. You can make it a main, which means that, for example, if you're working in a company, anyone with an account within your company will be able to see the board. You can make it private. Private means that it's only going to be visible to you and people that you select. And shareable, which means that you'll be able to share it even with people outside of your company. For now, I'm just going to keep it main. So anyone with account within my company can see this. And here's how this works. So these are the standard items that Monday generated for us. We have 5 items grouped into 2 groups. And let's say that our project is to redesign our website. Then what I will do is I'll use the groups here in order to make the different phases of the projects, for example, analysis, right? Then we have, I'll keep it really simple, execution, and then we're gonna add a new group here. And when you add it, you can just drag and drop it below. And this is gonna be the launch of the website. And in order to edit the items, you can do it from here. Analyze the features needed, closed, or you can do it straight from here, which I prefer. You can just click here, prepare proposal for management, and then the third item is going to be requirements finalization. Obviously, it's not a proper project management task list, but we're just going to do it like that. Develop the website, test the website, and then we're going to have here launch the website. And these are our tasks for our project. Then the next thing that you can do is use the person column, and you can change the name here to change it to owner, to assign the owner for this task. And in order to assign owners, you just click here and you add them. Now, anyone that's already added within your company as a person, you're going to be able to find them here. If not, you can just, if you're starting on monday.com from scratch, you can just invite them via email. But I'm just going to assign some owners here for the different tasks. And I have my owners assigned. Then you have the status. We have working on it, stuck and done, and nothing here, but you can edit these labels. So on the first one, which is working on it, if you prefer in progress, you can change it, done. You can add new labels also. For example, at risk or cancelled. So you can add, for example, this, so you can add the labels that you want. This one can be not started. And just like that, we've changed the label. So this can be in progress, stuck, in progress. So that's how this works. Then this can be the deadline. The date can be the deadline. And you can put a deadline here. This is a bit in the past, so let me take it to the current days. And that's the gist of it. But then you can also add new additional columns. So if you click on add column here, if you want to track something else, for example, if I want to track the budget for the different tasks, I can add numbers and I can change numbers to budget. And I can say this is going to cost 3,000, this is going to cost 6,000, this is going to cost, I don't know, 2,000. And if you want to change this to dollars, you can just click here on column settings and you can change this to dollars or euros or pounds or whatever you want. And here it is. You can add additional things here. So for example, if this is the owner of the task, but there's different people involved, you can add an additional people column, which is going to be team. And then here you can add multiple people. If more than one person is going to be involved in this task, you can assign multiple people here. That's not a problem. Then you can add an additional column. For example, if you want to have priority, you can use something like the drop down. And on the drop down, you click here and you edit the labels and you create a label here, for example, high, and then I put medium, and low. And I just use my drop down to set the priority here. There are other options here as well. So for example, you can do sub items. So let's say, for example, on the develop the website, I'm just going to click here and I'm going to click on add sub item, which is a new feature from Monday. And I can add here, for example, develop the front end. I can add an additional one here, develop the backend as an example. And here I can assign different owners. I can assign a status and I can assign a deadline. And again, I can add additional columns here. So this is how you create sub items. And then one thing to remember is that once you put them to done, This is not going to change the main status here, so keep that in mind. You still need to set the main status to done yourself if you're not using automations, which I'm going to cover in a different tutorial. So you can subscribe and look out for additional tutorials that I'm going to put out on monday.com. And that's how you go through your tasks and you assign them. You can do more advanced stuff here. For example, you can even do formulas, but this is a bit more advanced and I'm gonna leave this for a different session. Now, what's really great about Monday is that it allows you to do some automatic notifications to owners. So let me go to automate here, and I'm gonna click on add new automation. You have a lot of options here for automations, but I'll show you one or two examples. So, for example, this one, when a status changes to something, notify someone. And I'm gonna say when a status changes to stuck, and I'm gonna notify someone, and here you put a custom message. This task seems to have problems. Can you please check with the team? And you can notify a certain member. So for example, if Mary is the project manager here for this website redesign for the company, you can do that. So anytime someone changes a status to stuck, Mary as a project manager is going to be notified in her email, and she'll be able to follow up with the team, which is a great feature. And you have a lot of different automations here. Let me show you one more. For example, if I click again on automations, and if I go to due dates, and I'm going to say when date arrives, so when, and here you can put the actual hour, for example 9 a.m. deadline. So when the deadline of the task arrives and status is not done, then you can notify this seems to be near the deadline and the status is still not done. And then you can notify, for example, from the people column, the owner. So this means that when the deadline of certain task arrives, and if the owner hasn't updated this to done, then they're going to be notified, or you can again notify the project manager. This is important because in my experience in project management, in a lot of cases, things don't get updated just because the team doesn't go log into the tool and updates their task. They may be working on it, maybe they have even completed this task already, but they simply haven't updated it in the tool. And this is why it's important to use these automations. This is probably the best feature of monday.com, which you would not see in a lot of other project management softwares. I believe monday.com is the best in this type of automations. It's a really great tool and I'll definitely suggest you to use it. So this is a really quick overview of how you use Monday. If you want to learn more about how to use monday.com, because it's such a great tool, make sure to subscribe to my channel, and I'm gonna be releasing more lessons on how to manage your project in Monday like a pro, especially since Monday is releasing new features all the time. So if you want to be kept up to date, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. Hopefully this was useful for you.